Karibu, 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 karibu. Welcome to Mamlaka Broadcast Network. Karibu mean welcome in Swahili because I did a trip in Kenya 2 weeks ago. I did a trip in Kenya. So when the first time you came into Kenya, the first word you heard is karibu, which means welcome. So welcome. Makuma matata. Those are the words that I learned in the motherland Kenya. So my name is Ambassador George. I'm broadcasting for one of our studios here in Germany. This is MBN. We are contrasting the worldly fact with the truth of the kingdom, the original truth. And that's what we do in Mamlaka Broadcast. So I miss you a lot being away, but at the same time, I was very close to you with my heart. So it's a pleasure again today to be in your presence and to share with you everything that I experienced during the trip. So it was a great trip. First of all, we want to thank you for the privilege. Again, Karibu, welcome. And I want to thank you for the privilege to welcome us in your home. You may be in your car driving, maybe you are at break at work, but listening to one of our podcasting. And it's a blessing. Maybe you're in the place where you feel desperate, you have no hope, and hoping someone will bring a word that will comfort you, a message that God will bring to help you where you are. And this is why we are your ambassador. And thank you for the privilege to open your heart to us or your home. So thank you very much. I'm very happy to be back and to serve you, to continue to serve you. So today I'm talking about successful holiday. What is successful holiday? So I'm talking about holiday because I've been in one, as I told you. I came back on Saturday. It was a wonderful trip, me and my family. But why did I name it? So now I want just to help you to be able to have a successful trip, to have a successful holiday. You can name it a Sabbath, you can name it a retreat, you can name it a vacation. All are similar. And all are the blessing from God. Before we used to think that for us, before holiday was just to move somewhere and have fun, do what you want to do. Sometimes if you do what is not is not aligned with the word of God or the lifestyle of God. But this time around, thank God, when we are in the kingdom, with those things, with discern, and we don't just do things. We do things with a purpose. We are intentional. So I was very, very prepared when I was thinking about taking this trip. It has been for long. We haven't been for any vacation for many years, me and the family. And thank God to have access us this privilege this time around. It was a blessing. But one thing I've learned is that there's nothing that you achieve in this life if you don't pay the price for it. The price needed to be paid because at some point, I did not ever believe again that this trip will be possible. I was so overwhelmed with many things. We were overwhelmed. We have a lot of things to do, taking care of an employee, make sure that we find some people that we take care of the business while we are away. There were a lot of things. It was so, at some point, what I said to myself, you know what, maybe we can postpone this again. But somehow, deep in my heart, I said, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't postpone it anymore. So we have to make sure that we expose our faith. We have to make sure that we pay any kind of price that it needed to be paid. Good prices to get into where we want to be. Because my intention was I wanted to be everything. I want to be everything that God created me to be. And to do that, I need to work on myself. I need to take care of myself. I need to really develop in me the lifestyle that God expects me to have according to His word. I want to do everything. And so for me, this trip already, since I've seen it like something that can change something into me, I decided to pay the price. And thank God, we did it. So that was the first experience. So nothing good come from nothing. Okay. So now here we are in Kenya. After 8 hours flight from Frankfurt to Kenya, here we are. Right away, I'm standing in the airport and I hear the first word, Karibu, welcome, brother and sister. I feel so blessed. I knew it was kind of like, I knew right away that I'm in the motherland and where I was born and where my ancestor lives. You know, one thing that for me personally, everywhere, no matter in which country I step in Africa, I immediately feel at home. I immediately feel at home. Right away. I will remember I was just sitting and think, wow, this is where my parents were buried. I'm talking about in Cameroon, but I'm in Kenya. Excuse me. But I see Kenya like where my parents were buried because why? It's Africa. You know, it's only this little thing of colonization that's trying to descend to separate us from each other, but we are one. And I feel it. I don't care what other people feel, but this is what I feel. I'm home. So now, how was the trip? What are the experience? What are the things that I benefit from the trip? As I said, the first thing was when I get there, we get to our cottage where we used to live. We thank God, front of the cottage, we have a swimming pool straight away from the door, and the children were swimming all the time. And as someone that I like swimming, you know, I like to be involved in anything that make life happy, especially with my children. So I learned first to learn to swim. I did it by myself. I brought it. I trained myself to swim. You know, I did my best. Sometimes I get some help from people on level, but he never helped me until I made my own decision and develop my lifestyle how to swim. So I learned to swim a little bit. My first experience of first time just learn how to swim again. I went to Cameroon. I did a trip to Cameroon. So then I went to some hotel. Then suddenly I went into water. I started swimming, but not yet in the deep water. First trip. Now this trip now in Kenya, I was just swimming. I see people swimming. So we have a deep water. You know, it was a water was above for me, so I can swim, but not in the very deep water. So I went in there, and in my mind, I was imagining how if I know how to swim, what I can do, how I can enjoy the water, how I can jump from up to down, how I can do everything with the water that I so love. All those things was working in my mind, but here we are. I could not swim into deep water. So what I did is the swimming pool kind of like in the water, there's a line. You know, there's a line. It means that for non-swimmer, those who cannot swim into deep water, there's a line. You don't have to cross it because if you cross it, you can get you can sink. You know, you can sink, and that is not good. So what I did is I will hold the wall where the big water is and try to test the ground. I will always consider make that my feet do not touch the ground. That will make me scared, make me scared, you know. And I always make sure that every time I will go there in the deep water, I make sure that people are around, people who know how to swim, you know, in case something they can help me. But I keep on trying. In my mind was coming when I know how to swim, how it's gonna happen. So I hold the wall and I try to touch it down. But the second time I did an experience, I said, okay, I hold the wall and I went down, you know, try to touch the boat. I just hold just the water and let myself in the water. But when I realized the water keeping bringing me up, I said, ah. So when because I used to think that when you jump into water, you can't swim, you just go down, you know, and drown. But that was not the case. The water keeping bringing me up. I said, oh, so okay. So the next time I just lift myself, lift a seat, I see water keeping. I did it 1, 2, 3 times. I said, okay, then it can walk. So I did it. He bring me up and I swim. I go to where it's not deeper. I did it again. Then I said, okay, this is how it functions. That's just what I needed. So I just jumped into in the middle of a deep water and I see myself coming up and I was able to swim. So Now I learn how to swim into deep water. What a blessing. Great desire. Yeah, that was the first thing. And that was my first experience, my first success. So, and the other thing was, I learned also to write my journey in Kenya, my daily journey, what I experienced during the day. I started writing them down. And I realized also that my life had been so complicated. I complicated my life a lot in everything I want to do. I wanted, like, if I want to read a whole book, I want to make, I read the whole book, the one book, a total book one day. All this, I make it so complicated. But I realized, no, when I start writing my journey, I just write what I experienced. That's all. Maybe it might be a 3 or 5 or 6 line. That's all. But I've done something. And I saw myself progressively doing it each day. It was very easy because I take it one time at one piece at a time, just little every day. And that's the second source that I have. But the more difficult thing was the language. The language. That's what I learned, that it's very difficult when you're in a country where you can't speak the language, because there's a lot of consequences and there's a lot of price to pay about it, because especially when you go to market, and when you go to a market and you don't, right away, what I realized that people will first speak you the language. So their test is to say something in their languages, to start speaking, because someone even said that I look for someone who come from one tribe in Kenya. That's why most of people were just immediately they start speak to me in Kenya, because we are African, we are brother, we are sister. You see how I told you, everywhere in Africa, when I say in Africa, I'm home. So they just see me like one of them. So, but as a businessman, I knew also what was behind. What was behind was, when they speak you the language, if you can't respond with the language, immediately when you go into normal like English, they know that now. For some, like in Cameroon, like in Kenya, they will use it against you sometimes, especially when you are about to buy something. If you speak the language, something that costs maybe €1 in the language, they know that is €1. But if you don't speak the language, something that costs €1 will cost €10 because you don't speak the language, you don't know. So that's one of Angika that I realized. And that's what I'm saying in Kenya is exactly what happened in Cameroon, where I come from. That's the tactic. So I also learned the language very important, and sometimes the best thing, sometimes you might have also a good job done major, someone who can translate, maybe someone who's from the hometown. But also I realized that unfortunately, every people who are born there, sometimes they are afraid to interfere into business of people or the homeowner, because people who are selling, who are who are in Kenya, they are selling to a foreigner. They don't want a Kenyan to come in and interfere, because if a Kenyan come in, the thing that costs €1 and that they wanted to sell to €10, it will not be possible, and it can bring a kind of like hate. You can even hate the person. Sometimes if it's involved. What I'm saying, Kenya, is exactly what happened to Cameroon. So what I decided on myself is that if I want to do this kind of trip next time, I will make sure I learn some little things about the language, little, especially on business. I will learn some little things, some little word from the country. I will get it in my own, so that I will be able, not to, I will be able to get across some difficulties. Language is very important also, and learn Swahili, it's a beautiful language, very beautiful. You have a very beautiful language. So that's one of the experience. So learn a little bit from the language, and so the other trip that we did was we went to a school. We visited a school, and while we were visiting school, so I have the opportunity to talk to the director of the school. I talked to the director of the school, and we talked to the director of school. And what really struck me there was the abandonment sometimes, where Sure, the government do a part of it. What the government, they told me that they explained me that the only thing that the government do is to give them a land, to have a land, and build them some school buildings, and that's all. Most of it they don't do. So, and they pay the teacher. So what come on the infrastructure, like for children to go to school, their parents have to pay their uniform because they use uniform. They pay the uniform, pay all the material that they need for school. The parents have to afford that. And unfortunately, something very difficult because they don't have resources, they don't have the means to do that. So we get into a school now. I saw some bench, where the children sit. So I saw names, the different names. So my curiosity, it grew my curiosity. I asked them, what about those names? Right away, they already told me that those names that you see are people who donate. So people who donate those bench. So every day the bank and all those things had not offered by the government. So people donate it. So anyone who give a donation, his name will be written on one of that class bank, where children they sit. So and it really drew my attention. I was so fascinated by that. But one thing that really struck me there was it revived my dreams. It revived my dream because I'm so passionate about real estate. I believe that the other business that I would really like to do in my life is to be a real estate um, owner, to have a real estate. I love it. I love creativity. I love design. I also love to see people be in an environment that they love, that is beautiful for them, environment that I myself, I would like to live there. So, but in the beginning, when I have those dream of real estate, I always have a dream to be a school. My dream was really to have a school where children will learn to be practical, to use their hand while they are using their brain, but to be more practical than just a theory. That's always been my dream. I always say, no, I can't build a school where we just only teach children drama and so on, but they never use their hand. I just want a school where it will help children to know who they were created to be. Maybe they were created to be a carpenter or electrician. So right away they discover it and start applying it. Agriculture. So that's why I want. So it revived my dream because I realized that along the way, that priority, that joy of a school has sink a little bit down. Maybe because of a lot of disappointment that I got in the past, because I invest on that in that, but people abuse me. I trust some people, but they abuse me. Maybe that's why the disappointment keep me to continue pursue that dream. But when I got there, my dream is kind of like it get a revival. I start thinking about it, and I make a decision that I will adjust my dream again. I will adjust my vision of real estate. I will make sure even if I'm doing real estate, but it will be a part that is reserved just for education. Because again, what is working in my mind, like the desire, what I learned from swimming is that when you hold a desire, a firm desire in your heart, you're going to pay the price of it and to achieve it. That really helped me, So I decided that I will adjust my vision to make sure if I want to do real estate, but there will be a part reserved only for education for children because my dream is about legacy. Everything I'm doing now is about leaving a legacy. And legacy that you can leave to people is not a building, it's not what you build or whatsoever. No, it's something that you live into the heart of people or children that no one can take away from them. That's what they call legacy. So it inspired me. I said, wow, so I'm going to make sure. So what we did is I talked with the director and he told us some problem that they are facing, that sometimes they even take money out of their salary to afford maybe a pencil to children to write because children, sometimes they got it today, the next day is no more there and their parents can't afford. So the teacher, sometimes they take the money out of their pocket to buy. It touched me. It doesn't make me feel pity, but what it made me feel is that there was opportunity. We can change this. there's a way we can change it. There's possibility to change this kind of situation. So the first thing I did is we offer the opportunity, something that they can afford a little thing for the children and see how we can do in the future. But I realized that one thing that sometimes is a problem is because we have to learn people not to give them fish, but to teach them how to fish. What really touched me there was talking every with the youth around, around the villa, or asking them, how do you survive? What do you do? So they told to me that because we're close to the sea, they say, yeah, a lot of people, some people are fishermen, some people are there. But I realized that imagine if someone just come into that village and unite of those youth and teach them how their life can change. Because and my wife also, she came back with idea. We saw people selling mangoes. We asked them, why don't you use this mango? Why don't you harvest a mango and go to sell him to the market? They said no. There's a lot of people having a lot of mangoes, and then the mango ripe quick, and then we don't know what to do with it. And get that. And my wife said, no. Why can't you translate it? You transform it as a I don't know how to call it, marmalade, like kind of like you grind them, and put them into jar, that you can conserve for many times. People can use it like, to put into a bread and something. You conserve it. Those kind of ideas, Then I realized that, wow, there's a lot of things. They don't do it because they don't know. They don't do it because they don't know. And that's what sometimes keep people into poverty. So for me, it was not a sad situation because I knew that there was a solution. I start praying that if not we, someone else can do that because they are there. Someone can come and train and assemble all those youth, buy them something, just unite them and talk to them, teach them how to use. We saw there's some trees that are good for health. We saw a lot of things that those youths can take and transform. But if they don't know, they can't do it. So they keep relying on tourism, just like in Cameroon. While they need some education, we also want to another country who is quite a very big country. Because remember, as we find out, Kenya has 46 counties. Cameroon have 46 counties. So it's a huge community. So we went also to another place. We see youth, and we see in one of the village. We were coming back from safari. Maybe we talk to you the next time. I would really want to share everything that I experienced, everything that can change our life, because all what I'm sharing is also part of the blessing of God. Holy day, you see, in a holy day, there's a word holy, and everything that's holy comes from God. It's a blessing. It's a lesson to learn. So we went to another village where we see people with charcoal, they burn tree and made out of it a charcoal to go and sell. So we saw them on the road, but we did not know where it come from. So now when we go into the village, I saw a devastating village. I saw villages where we see houses, but around there no trees, nothing at all. Just kind of like house is just lived by himself. So I asked the brother who was driving us. He told us that yeah, that's what they do. They will cut it and burn it and go and sell. Why? Because that's all the thing that they have to survive. That's what the parents have to send their children to school. They are putting themselves in a risk because they have to take care of their family. The youth, they don't have nowhere to go except to go and steal. So the only thing that they can do that can keep them away from all the bad thing in the world is to do that. Is to put themselves into danger to feed their family. What kind of danger is it? Because around there's no tree, When there's no tree, imagine you have a strong wind. What's going to happen with all those houses? It will be easy to be blown away. And also one thing we realize is that to plant one tree, the tree doesn't just grow today. To replace it, it takes years. And so doing, the area getting devastating day after day. As I'm telling you now, as I'm talking to you now, someone else is doing the same thing, is chopping trees around his own home to feed his family. Is it a sad, a bad, is it a hopeless situation? No, it's not. It's not. It's not. If I'm hopeful, there's millions of people also who are hopeful. We just need to do something. We don't need to sensationalize the people. We don't need to. We just need to, because the most devastating thing is that if you are counting on the government, they will never help you. They will never help you. So there's a prayer president years that always say, don't ask yourself, what can your country do for you? What can you do for your country? I think time has come. It's not because we just want to abandon politics, abandon everything, no. But we have to be doing that while we are trying to get into those positions that we help you to make a decision to help those who are see where we come from. There's a hope. And that's make me joyful. You know, it was sad, risky for those families. Because when their home is gone, how going to do? They're going to start again. Every the money that they save for chapel could not rebuild them another new house. But it's hope. We just need to sensibilize those people. We just need to educate them. We just need to show them a different way to meet their needs. That's all they need. They don't need much. And they are so humble. They can survive. They can survive. They are so humble. They are humble. And that's one thing that I was so happy to be there with the children, because my children also learn how people live from nothing. How people, despite their difficulty, despite their situation, they enjoy the life that they are getting, that they are having. You know, that's what I also love my children to be there. And that's why I want to make it regularly, you know, because Africa is not a mistake that they call Africa a motherland, Africa is a mother. Is where you can have all the beautiful manner, all the pure education of human being. That is the land, that is the place where humility can be developed, can be easily developed. Gratitude can be easily developed. We saw that. So that's what I got for you today. And there's still more to come. I will also tell you about the experience that we have on the trip with animal in the safari and so on. There's a lot of things I want to share, because I would really want to share, because I know that it's a part of the kingdom, and I know that what I've learned from the blessing that I've got from there, all come from God, and so doing is a blessing, and I need to share it. So this is the part one of it, and by the grace of God, next week I will share another part of it. So thank you very much, and thank you again. Thank you in Swahili is asante. So asante, thank you very much to be with us today. My name again is Ambassador George. I was very happy to share with you my experience on the trip to Kenya, a beautiful country. And by the grace of God, I will share the next week. So, like us, follow us. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, Humble. We even have a broadcast. If you don't watch, you can listen to us. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell of notification, so we make sure that every time that there's a message that will be given to us as ambassador to come and deliver straight to you in your home, in where you are, we make sure that it gets to you on time. So thank you very much and bless you. See you at the top where the eagle live.